Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January the 30th, and this is the Futures in 5 pre-market edition. We are still looking at things a little bit landlocked. The biggest move we're going to see is in the YM, and that has a lot to do with Boeing and how well they did. A lot of folks still calling these edges fairly noisily. The voice that we're hearing is, you know what, we see global slowdown, but what we are seeing actually are traders still buying these bottoms, right? We see this tighter range of motion. Looks a little bit like a pennant. Pennants, we do know, break in the direction of the pole, and so in general. And so what we're doing is looking for the next test of resistance right up above these edges. The motion on the day is bullish. On the 4-hour, it's a little bit more neutral, and we can see this sideways action. The long that got triggered on the 28th still holding for us, but clearly we can see this is a region of profit taking that we'll have to look at. Overall, from the 4-hour charts, we're looking up to 58 and then maybe even 68, 69 for the next couple of days. Really don't expect this chart to break out in grand fashion, but here's the thing. We trade what we see and confirm that with relative motion, not use our bias. And right now, that's still very range bound. Taking a look at the NQ, it's not moving nearly as well, right? Although Apple did respond nicely, and we are going to have ourselves a little bit of a punch up, but getting up and over 67.22 is going to be the number today. Notice the daily chart, it's identifying resistance zones, and so that's going to be something pretty important for us to look at. If we get up into this region, do not anticipate breakouts will hold. That is just not the formation. What the formation is telling us is that intraday, if you want to push these edges up, that's fine. You just have to watch for regions where the charts will press up and then fail to hold. That's what's going to give us the downside pressure. The real performer here, of course, is the YM, the Dow, the mini Dow here. Now, there's so many things people say about, I hate watching the Dow. It's only 30, blah, blah, blah. And then some people go, the Dow is the Dow. And there's a reason for it being there, so let's just have a look at things. Really, it's doing just like the ES. It's coming into the 5-day high for this region, and it's rejecting it cleanly. Now, here's the thing. We have a cross that says known resistance forming and known support. So these edges clearly defined. Bullish on the faster moving average, flat on the slower moving average. So what are we seeing? A little bit of a cross current. If we go to the 4-hour, we're going to see that cross current show up in the neutrality of our overall momentum indicator. Taking a look at oil, it is still holding. These edges are very interesting to have a look at. This, remember, when you've got motion like this, where you get above a moving average and there is a negative indicator, you know that its first test into the region is likely to reject, but that the edges they hold will be the support. That's how you read this motion, and it does send us back up into this area right here. Now we're landlocked, looking at upside pressure that began way back here at the 45 area, now holding this shoulder. Range bound, of course. What do we expect? Resistance at our green bar, or right into that edge. EIA today, what do we want to see? Pullbacks, they're going to be buy zones. Gold really accelerated to the top. It is moving in fairly interesting fashion. The reason that the red arrows are showing up is because of what's going on right now in terms of its fade. So we're going to leave this as neutral and apply these edges so we can see our bullish indicators move up. Support area still giving us buy zones. Where's the pullback likely to? 1303. It could come all the way in there. What's it have to do first? Lose 1311. Is it losing the 1320 that we had up there at the resistance zone, 1397? Yes. It came right into the edge of this gap thereabouts from a composite chart. And remember, I said all of this is very noisy, so filling in this volume profile is quite likely. Moving down into the 4-hour formations, we can still see pullbacks for buy zones. We've got to get under these moving averages before we can see anything. That's the Futures in 5 pre-market edition.